In today's Little School of Big Change Highlights video, I want to talk a little bit about the brain. Now, the brain is amazing. It's an incredible machine, and it's a machine. It's a machine whose sole purpose is to keep you alive. It's very efficient, it's very habitual, and it just does what it needs to do. That's all in your best interest, all to keep you alive. Now, there's a lot of confusion sometimes about the brain. We tend to identify with what it does. We get very caught up in the output of that machine. But I've seen it be gigantic for people, myself included, to start to get a feel for how our brain, as incredible as it is a machine. It is not us. We can start to see what a machine does and how it works in a way that frees us from what it's putting out, in a sense. So you'll see more about that in today's highlight video. Your habit lives in your lower brain. So lower brain is responsible for the very basic human functions. And a lot of those are habitual, like beating your heart all the time. It's also kind of where your survival instincts originate, where fight or flight comes from. So it's a very, very old, very basic part of the brain, the lower brain, that kind of learns how to do things that keep you alive and keep you safe. Now, we're going to talk about this more in future lessons, but when we have a habit, in a sense, our lower brain starts to learn, oh, okay, she needs this, he needs this is a good thing. When you feel really bad and then you eat a bunch of food or you smoke a cigarette or you go gamble and you start to feel better because your thinking changes, your lower brain doesn't understand all that. It just picks up on the very basic reward kind of function in that. So it's like, oh, she felt really bad, did this, felt better, yeah, let's do more of that. In a really, really basic sense, of course. I'm massively oversimplifying this, but really just getting it at a very simple level is all we need. So our habits, all of that stuff that starts to feel very instinctual, very habitual, kind of lives in our lower brain. Our lower brain puts out thoughts, cravings, urges, everything that sort of keeps our habit alive. Now, the thing about the lower brain is that's kind of all it can do. It is not sophisticated. It is not wise. It does not have judgment or reasoning abilities. It doesn't even have the ability to walk you around in life. It can't coordinate muscle movements. It can't make decisions. Literally all it can do is say, more food, more food, more food, or that's not fair, your boss treated you horribly, get angry, fight back. Whatever it is in us, the lower brain can kind of just broadcast these signals, tell us about it. Even sometimes it feels like demand things, like demand, you have to have this right now, find a drink right this minute. It can do all that, but it can't actually make us do anything. It has no ability to walk your legs to your car or to the store or to the refrigerator. It has no ability to actually make a decision. We need to do that. Us in our higher brain, really bigger than the brain, us in our wisdom. We use our own wisdom and common sense, and in brain terms, more of the higher brain, to make choices. The thing is, we don't know that. Until we know that, it feels like we're being hijacked by our lower brain. When your lower brain is screaming at you to do something, you're probably going to do it. I did for years and years. Many of us have, because we don't know better. It doesn't feel good to have your lower brain screaming at you to do something. It feels like a matter of life and death sometimes. And we just want to feel better. And what it's screaming at us, we in some way know, okay, there is some relief in that. It's very temporary and it's way worse right afterward, but there is some immediate, instant relief in doing our habits. So we just get caught up, again, another super simple, innocent misunderstanding. We get caught up in the emotion and the urgency and the demands of our lower brain, and we start giving in. But our lower brain can't do anything. Like we're making the choice, misinformed until now, we're making the choice to listen to that, and we don't have to. So This is the really great news. And you see, it's really consistent with everything we've been talking about. When we look at it in the brain, it's no different than how we've been looking at thought and feeling and experience in a bigger sense. We've been saying in a bigger sense, yeah, our brain, our mind is always talking, and we're always having these opinions and judgments and feelings. But they come, they are brought to life, and then they leave. And we don't have to do anything about that. There's an us that's bigger than that experience that ultimately gets to just contain it and just let it move through, if that's what makes sense. And that's exactly what we're saying about the lower brain. It can yell at you. It will yell at you. If you have a habit, your lower brain is going to push for that habit. But that's all it can do. It's like a little alarm clock that all it can do is just buzz, buzz, buzz at the time that you set it to go off. It can't make you get out of bed. It can't make you go for a run or go to work or whatever you're supposed to be doing. All it can do is buzz. And that's exactly how the lower brain is. And when we start to see that, again, it's like, wow, I'm in charge here. Just the understanding gives me some freedom. My lower brain can do whatever it needs to do, and I'm going to feel that. But it's okay, because that's just another human experience. It's going to come, I'm going to feel it, and it's going to go. You are not your brain. Just like you are not your stomach, you are not your thumbs, and you are not your hair. Just like you are not your thoughts, your feelings, or your behaviors. You aren't what you did yesterday, and you aren't what you're thinking about doing tomorrow. You are so much bigger than all of that form. You aren't your body, and you aren't your psychology. You're the bigger awareness that can watch all of this happen and see it insightfully. What I love so much about this understanding is that as people start to see that insightfully, they see, wow, look at this amazing machine of my brain. Look at my experience coming to life. We can marvel at it. We don't have to feel afraid of it. It doesn't boss us around and make all of our decisions for us. We start to see who we really are, and it's so safe and wise and healthy there. I love watching people open up to these truths and the freedom that they bring in the Little School of Big Change, and I'd love to have you in the school. I open the school just twice each year. The doors are closed in between those 2 times, and the doors are closed right now, but the school's about to open again, and I'd love to have you in there. If any of this resonates with you, please go over to the littleschoolofbigchange.com and just join the wait list. There's no commitment, but if you're on the wait list, you'll see when we start getting close to the first day of school, and you'll get some cool kind of bonuses and exclusive material if you're there on that wait list. So jump over there and get yourself on the wait list just in case, and I'll see you in the next video.